Today I'm unboxing a 1/32 size violin that I ordered from the Shar catalog for one of my youngest students. I'm excited, it's gonna be really tiny and cute, despite the really large box. I hope they sent me the right one. Come join me for the next 5 minutes and I'll show you how I set the whole thing up. Encased in a lot of protective packaging. Here it is! It's so tiny! I guess I should clean this up. It's like a newborn instrument. Oh. Little tiny violin and a little tiny bow. A 1/32 size violin is about as small as they come, and it's typically perfect for my 2.5 to 3-year-old students. To give you a sense of the size comparison, here's the 1/32 and here is my violin, which is a full size or a 4/4 size violin. My bow, 1/32 size bow. Not playing Brahms quite yet. If I hold this up close, you can see that the bridge is ever so slightly not exactly parallel with the tailpiece or the fingerboard here. So it must have just moved a little tiny bit, which is typical for tiny violins. And so I'm going to very gently and carefully adjust the placement of the bridge. Almost all violinists, even the littlest ones, need a little bit of shoulder support. And while there are miniature versions of shoulder bars available, for children this little, a sponge is almost always plenty sufficient for their needs. I ordered a package of simple artist sponges on Amazon, and I found that they were a little bit too thick, so I cut one of them down to about 50 or 60% of the original size, and I think it'll be perfect. The sponge is going to be placed directly under the chin rest right here. The rubber band goes over the tailpiece and simply stretches around to this corner of the violin right here, and that will hold our sponge on the violin. Last week I had a family say to me, "I think my violin is broken. I play with my bow, but no music comes out." That's because there's no rosin on your bow, so it's not making sound. Without rosin, it sounds like this. Nothing. For a full tutorial on how to rosin your bow properly, check out my link in the description below to another video called How to Rosin Your Bow. However, big caveat, don't expect to use the bow right away. It's so important to get the foundation of really good violin position first before we add the complication of the bow. Parents, this is vitally important. So if it takes quite a few lessons of just the violin and learning to pluck the strings properly before you add the bow, that's okay. This little piece here guides where her thumb is going to go. For really little students, I actually like to loosen the strings of the G and D strings and just kind of tuck them away for future use. There are so many motor skills involved in just beginning this instrument, and so we'll focus on just 2 strings for now and then add the other ones in later. Every time I adjust the strings more than a little tiny bit, especially with little violins, I always double check to make sure that the bridge is exactly parallel with this line on the violin. A bridge that's starting to lean over in either direction could either snap off or even snap in half, and I've had that happen before. The last part is adding our very first tape on the violin, which is going to guide her first finger. I double checked that the tape is in tune, and so this violin is now all set up and ready for my young student to try.